Leah Fedner, and welcome to Inside I.O. It's the only show that kidnaps celebrities right after they get off stage. Today we have Fred Willard with us, and we're going to ask him some grueling questions.
In the bowels of the Improv Olympic, I didn't know all this was here. This is amazing.
It's the labyrinth.
It's a wonderful, I love the Improv Olympic Theater because there is a little balcony and people can sit on the stairs, and it's really a nice little theater and a great location.
Yeah, and is this your first time here?
No, I've done several shows here. This first time I did one of these shows here before, the Armando. And I've done a couple of sketch shows here, and I've been here when friends do sketch shows. You got a great cast.
Well, you know, a lot of those people are actually teachers here at iOS.
Wow, and a lot of ex-Second City people.
Yeah. We cross-pollinate, and I know you've got this crazy history of Second City. You were one of the first Second Cityers.
Kind of, yeah. I was there, many years ago, and it was not the first few, but early on.
Yeah.
I was there with Robert Klein and David Steinberg, for those of you who know.
Is it 1965? Is that the year?
Yeah. We could do a show right in this room.
I know, right?
I've been in smaller theaters than this.
Well, actually, you know, they do shows here sometimes. So,
It's easy to sell out here. There are 2, 3, 4, 7 people. We'll put you on the list.
I have a question for you because I've noticed that you do everything. You do voiceovers, you do, live stage entertainment, you do movies, television, film, commercials. Is there anything in the entertainment field that you have not done? Yes,
Shakespeare, heavy dramas, and I've never directed. I never had any interest in directing, unless sometimes we do a sketch show, and I like to direct my own sketches because I don't think anyone else can get what I'm doing. And then if it fails, I say, well, it failed my way. When I do the Christopher Guest movies, people say, are they improvised? Now, if I hear a movie is improvised, I don't want to go see it. But what he does, he has a pretty firm outline. He and Eugene Levy write them, and you know what every scene is. It's just like you and I. They said, you come down and interview Fred, and we do it, and then he'll tape it, and then he'll cut out, just leave the best 2 or 3 minutes. So that's a good way. You put it in your own words, which a lot of writers will only write with what they have in mind.
So which Christopher Guest character was your favorite?
I think my favorite was the Mighty Wind, where I say, hey, what happened? That was the most fun because I had my hair dyed blonde and I got completely out of myself, which is really why you become an actor. I think most people, you don't want to be yourself, you want to be other people.
So you've never dyed your hair blonde for fun?
No, I never have. And when I was a kid, I'd always get a crew cut, get a burr cut. I'm still looking for someone to give me a role as a soldier, something where I can have a crew cut. But now I would just look ridiculous with a crew cut. But you get completely out of character. I could do things that, and then I did a movie called Best in Show, where I was the dog show commentator.
Yes.
And after that, I would be invited to things. Now, we're having a dog show. Would you come out and narrate? Would you come out? And I didn't want to do it, and then I realized why I didn't want to do it. It would be me doing it, saying dumb comments, rather than the character. If you're the character, you can say outrageous things.
Most of these awesome cartoons that you're a part of, on Cartoon Network, Family Guy, all these different shows, do you get to make up the words, or do they give you a solid script?
They're very solid script. And I don't recall. I've done several. I did Family Guy. I did The Simpsons. I think, and I don't remember, I think if you paraphrase, you might say, is it okay if I say this? And I find usually they'll say, oh yeah, go ahead. But it's pretty scripted. And also it's, in fact, it's a bit harder to do a voice because I realize in acting you can do a lot of body language and looks, but suddenly it's just your voice. You have to convey the personality. Well, I actually started out, I went to New York and I didn't know what I was going to be. I said, first I thought I'd be a disc jockey. I want to be a disc jockey. Because I thought it was still the days where you could get hey, here's some hot waxing, do a record, and here's the original version. Then I found they didn't do that, so I said, I think I'll be an actor. That should be fun. So I went to an acting school, and I teamed up with another...
Which acting school did you go to?
Well, it was called Showcase Theater, and the only reason I mention that, I went to a lot of different schools to see what they do, and each one would say, well, we do sense memory, we do this, we do that. And I finally found this place. I said, what do you do there? She says, well, rehearse for 10 weeks and then put on a show and invite people. I said, that's what I want to do. And then, so I met this guy, and we had the same sense of humor, and we started writing sketches, and before you know, we had a comedy team, and we were working in the Village. and we ended up, we did the Ed Sullivan Show, we did Merv Griffin, we did a lot of shows.
Yeah, I remember we have students here at IO right now who, you know, they're just getting their legs. They're just, you know, getting up on stage and doing improv, and a lot of them are asking themselves, how do I, you know, transition from just being an improv actor to a television actor? I
would say they're doing the exact right thing. And every once in a while, young people say, how do I get started? I said, come up with a few minutes to do stand-up, or get into an improv group or a sketch group. Just what they're doing, getting on the stage there. Someone will come in and see them. They don't even have to be particularly funny. Someone might say, hey, that's an interesting type. I mean, I'm looking, if I was a casting director, there's 10 people I was on the stage with, I could cast each one in somebody. They all had a separate personality. We're all good, so they're doing the exact right thing.
Getting as much practice
Get up
as you
there,
can.
yes. It's like learning to swim. Jump in the pool to begin with and start to swim, and you'll catch on. And then I started getting TV shows. One of my first jobs and one of the best things I ever did was a show called Laverne and Shirley.
Oh my gosh.
I see that and I say, boy, was I good in that. Who was coloring my hair back then? It looked so, you know.
Can we zoom in on the tie?
The tie.
Like, I can't believe I didn't notice this till right now. This is a knit tie?
Is it? Yes.
It looks knit. This is.
Let's mention the socks.
So I'm so thankful for all the time you've given us tonight. Is there anything else that you want to share with the iOS community?
Get in, get up, do some improvisation. Even if you're not funny, and if you find out you just don't like it and you're not funny, there's nothing wrong with that. It's like not being able to play the banjo. So you can't play the banjo. Do something else. You'll be a director. You'll be a writer. You'll be an agent. Or just get out of the business. I went back to a Second City reunion. I was in Second City with Robert Klein and a few other people. They all showed up the year I was there. The one guy showed up. He was the healthiest, happiest one in the whole reunion. He left the business and went into sporting goods. He owns a sporting. He was so jolly. He had a beard and a nice red face, and he was so happy and so well adjusted. So if comedy is not your thing, there's nothing in the world.
If it's not your thing, you might become well adjusted.
I joke, of course. Read Backstage. You do not do that.
Well, that's a perfect note to end this on. Thank you so much, Fred.
Thank you for asking me. Part 2. Well then, as I graduated from high school, friends told me, you are exceptional. You are wonderful. These friends are all dead. You can't check with this.